What's going on, everybody? We are going to get ready to get started in just a second. I thank y'all for being patient with me. Had to do a couple of last minute, had to do a couple of last minute things on the show and everything, but we are ready to get this party started. So I thank everybody for tuning in. We're going to have a good time. Definitely make sure that y'all share this show out to everybody. Share this show out, and we're going to get ready to get started. And since we did not do a TNT post game due to me traveling. And of course, I was coming back with I had my brother, my younger brother with me, who is a Bengals fan during the Thanksgiving holiday. So I know he had a good time at the expense of the Titan. But I'm just glad, number one, he had a good time at the game and everything. So that was something that, I can kind of take solace in, that he had a good time at the game and stuff like that. So we're definitely going to get started in just a bit. Make sure y'all share the show out. We're going to talk about the Titans loss to the Bengals, what happened, what went wrong there. A question I'm going to pose out to everybody: are the Titans playoff worthy? Now, we know that they're going to make the playoffs. They're most likely on their way to a third straight division title. But the question is, are they truly playoff worthy? Are they really worthy of competing with the Buffaloes, the Kansas Cities, the Baltimores, and the Cincinnatis? And you'll be surprised at the answer that I might give. Also, we had a couple of little minor roster updates and things like that. And then we're also going to talk about a reunion with an old friend, now foe, and Arthur Juan AJ, formerly Downtown Broadway Brown. Dag, I miss that dude. I do. I ain't even going to lie about that. But we have a reunion. Hopefully it'll be a good one for us. So that's what we're going to talk about. So we're going to get ready to get started. We're going to talk about that, and also your star and dunce of the day nominations and winners. And we are going to get started in less than 30 seconds.
Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody?
What's going on, Titan Nation? How's everybody doing? Welcome into TNT tonight. I'm your man, Blue Enforcer, a.k.a. The Truth, and we're going to have a very fun episode on this evening. We're definitely going to have a lot to talk about, so this is going to be a longer show than usual, so I actually have to hang with me, and we're definitely going to have a lot of fun. So I want y'all to hang with me, and we're definitely going to do some good. So first of all, make sure y'all share this show out. Make sure that you share this out on Instagram, on Twitter, and on YouTube as well. And so definitely share the shows out there. Of course, as you see on the screen, Facebook at TNT Enforcers, on Instagram at Titans_N_Truth, and on Twitter at TNT Blue Enforcer. Also, this show will end up being on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. So if you have to dip out a little early, you can go back to these channels and re-listen to everything as well, or also on YouTube. And if you're new to the show, with everybody else that's here, as more of you start to come in, go ahead and smash that like button. I'm going to share this show out as well. And then also hit that subscribe button and ring that bell and hit all, so that way you are in the know for when some stuff is going to be going live. So definitely hit that subscribe button, and then ring the bell, hit all, so that you know when the Tennessee Titans, when I will be live talking all things Titans, and talk about all things NFL as well. So TNT tonight is on and is on and popping, and we're gonna start off with the unfortunate thing that happened on Sunday, since we're going to go there first. Also, super chats are also appreciated as well. So definitely, I definitely would appreciate that also, if you decide to do that. And, I definitely would be thankful for that as well. So, I definitely do appreciate that. But let's talk about this game, as unfortunately the Tennessee Titans do fall to the Cincinnati Bengals 20-16, and they unfortunately fall to 7-4 on the season. And my first initial reaction, and if you see me looking down, I am continuing to share the show out and everything. So I know I see a few people here. I see Titan Fox, Tighten Up DO9. What's going on? I know some of y'all will wait. Alex, what's up with you? DBS 2000 says Fulton finna lock Brown down. Definitely, we definitely gonna see about that. Sorry if I did keep y'all waiting. DBS says Hurst throws an interception on the first play, stands on the Eagle logo. That would definitely rile up some fans right there. I know DBS said we played very well against NFC East team. We will see. Our resident Titans hater is back. And, Kent saying that they are just comfortable winning the South, will be one and done. Unfortunately, he might not be far off. He might not be far off from that, and that's just being honest. Definitely. So I see a lot of people are definitely here, and I definitely do appreciate everybody being here. Of course, we have a couple of Bengal fans in here. I know my brother is quite happy right now, and so we're definitely gonna find that out. AZ Mick is here. Look him, we're definitely going to be in the tight spot going to this next game. But this game with the Bengals, did anybody else besides me get the feeling it just felt uncomfortable? Because that's what I felt. I mean, it was all kind of off. The weather was gloomy. I mean, the weather was gloomy. I was late getting to the stadium because I had to work, and I had to pick up some people to go with me and everything. Not nobody's fault in particular, but I'm just saying. It just, is it just me on that, or did it feel a little uneasy, a little underwhelming at this game? That's kind of what I felt watching this football game. I just felt uneasy. I felt like you knew stuff wasn't going to go right. Even though the Bengals were without Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase, it was a game we should have and could have won, but we made those little itty bitty mistakes on that. So is it just me, or was it uncomfortable or underwhelming to you as well? And Philibatics says, good evening, my Titans tribal chief. Yes, to the TNT Nation, acknowledge me. I had to do that right there. I appreciate that, Philip, on that. But yes, and I agree, the Bengals have our number. They've beaten us 3 years in a row. So, yes, they have our number right now. And that is not a good feeling to have. That it's like no matter what you do, they have your number. They know what you're going to do, and you're unsuccessful with it. Ty Fox says it was uncomfortable. We were a few plays away from victory, just like the Giants and Chiefs. A few key plays, and that's exactly right. AZ Mix said, I saw that smile on your brother's face with the picture you posted. Yeah. Well, one, it was his first live NFL game, and he got to see his favorite team. So, I mean, in essence, that was probably the one thing I was the most happy about, was that, I get to enjoy to seeing my brother enjoy himself at his first live game, and it's his favorite team. So, I mean, it was it was definitely fun with him and everything, but it just felt uncomfortable to me. I mean, there was a lot of things like Ryan Tannehill played a good game, and Traylon Burks, I think, is starting to emerge. Even though he didn't have 100 yards, I think if there were like one or two balls that he could have caught, that he didn't. One, I think Ryan Tannehill slightly underthrew him, and if he hits him, he has over 100 yards. He has over 100 yards receiving. So, there was just some moments where it felt like Burks almost had another 100-yard game. And so, with that in mind, we go to the good, the bad, and the god-awful of this game. The good, the bad, and the god-awful. I know there's probably a lot of bad. There's quite a bit of awful. Not a lot of good. Definitely not a lot of good. But there was a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and get the good out the way, because it wasn't much to that. And the good is Ryan Tannehill, I think, had a very solid game. His quarterback rating, I believe, was 91.7 to Joe Burrow's 91. So there was a lot of good that that Ryan Tannehill did. He threw for 291 yards. He threw 27 to 34, 291 yards. He didn't have any touchdown, but he didn't throw any interceptions either. Sorry about that light right there. Making sure I had that. But Ryan Tannehill was pretty efficient. The only thing that he did not do was get in the end zone. And so, get in the end zone. So that's the only thing that was not good as far as Ryan Tannehill, was just not a touchdown pass in the end zone. Traylon Burks, I think, is coming along. And I would say to a lesser extent, so is Chikakonkwo. I just wish they would give him more targets and give him more snaps. That is, something that I would really want them to do, is make sure that that Chig and Austin Hooper are on the field more, and Jeff Swain is on the field less. That's what I want. That's all I want. I want, Burks should not be coming off the field at all. Burks should be on the field about 90% of the time. And, Cody Hollister only played 4 snaps. That's good. His numbers should be like no more than that. It should be down to less than that. He should only be playing about 2% of the snaps. Robert Woods playing 46 snaps. That's fine. Burks playing 38. Not bad, but should be playing more snaps than Robert Woods. But I'm not tripping. If Robert Woods outsnaps Traylon Burks by a little bit, that's fine. I'm not really going to go crazy. But Jeff Swain playing 54% of the snaps is awful. So, that was some of the good. I mean, Burks had 4 catches, 70 yards, caught a long ball, caught another pass, kind of got upfield some. He would have had another catch that would have been about maybe 25, 30 yards, which would have got him over 100 if he caught that one. But I think Burks is slowly starting to emerge. And I just think they have got to continue to keep building with him. They got to keep building with that. But that's all the good that I could possibly think of. The bad. What the hell happened to our run defense in this game? Defense overall, but a little bit of the run defense in particular. Now, in going back and watching the game, I went back and watched the game, and I will say I don't think the run defense was as horrible as I originally thought. However, even though Samaje Perine did get in the end zone once, he only had 17 carries for 58 yards. He did a little bit of damage in the passing game. That's kind of where he had a little bit of success. The main problem with our run defense was Joe Burrow. And a lot of that was for the defense because they did not keep contained. They left the lane in the middle. They left the lane in the middle for Joe Burrow to escape. If nobody's in the middle of the field and everything opened up, Joe Burrow had a clear path at least to the middle of the field to pick up some yards. Or if a defensive end or outside linebacker like a Bud Dupree rushes and turns up inside, Burrow has a way onto the outside of the pocket. He's able to roll out, get outside the pocket, either get yards that way or extend the play some. There was a play in particular where Joe Burrow got outside of the pocket. He was marching down the tight sideline. It was before their first score, which tied the game at 10. And Burrow was getting outside. It looked like he wasn't really going to get much. And then the running back, was running inside. He slipped back outside. David Long slipped. And then Burrow just lofted over to the running back. If David Long doesn't slip, Joe Burrow doesn't have that throw that he can make. And also, he's probably running out of bounds on that. So the run defense was a little suspect. Another thing was we got absolutely no pressure whatsoever on Joe Burrow. We didn't get any pressure at all. None. And, it just, and it made me wonder, did we really miss Danico Autry that much? And one of the plays that I was talking about earlier where Joe Burrow got, had the middle escaped and picked up like 8-9 yards and nearly picked up a first down, Jeff Simmons wasn't in the game in that situation. So that was something that I just thought was extremely concerning with me. And I just didn't like the fact that we did not get enough pressure. Derrick Henry being ineffective, I think, was more so on the offensive line, and they did not pick up blitzes and blocks because there were a lot of times where the corners was just coming off of the outside or they were just sneaking up. Like there were times that you saw that there were 7, 8, 9 guys in the box, and Tannehill either didn't check out of it or Aaron Brewer didn't, recognize to the rest of his offensive line, hey, there's a blitz that might be coming. Be ready to pick that up. Offensive line play was not very good in this game, and that helped with not only Derrick Henry being ineffective, but I think that also helped with some issues Ryan Tannehill had in the game. For example, on the sack, on the sack, you saw Hubbard was on the outside. The other defensive lineman was inside. They did a delayed twist where Hubbard comes around inside. Nate Davis so busy trying to help Nicholas Petit-Frere, he doesn't even pick up Sam Hubbard coming around inside on the twist. And then Aaron Brewer also, he was trying to help Raiders. He was late trying to help Nate Davis, and he falls on his butt. So neither one of them did their job as far as picking up that twist. Derek Roberts, thank you for the super chat. What do we do to help Henry be more of a weapon on third down? And that's an excellent question. One that I'm definitely going to try to, see about. Because, I mean, on third down situations, that's probably where you might want to have Derrick Henry and Dontrell Hilliard on at the same time. And we're going to talk about some other things like that in the god-awful. That I can tell you. Titan Fox says, good, our weapons on offense are better than they look on paper. Bad our offensive line, period. And one of those things make the other true. That's a fair point. I mean, I think Burks is better than we originally thought. I think Robert Woods is a better number 2. He could even be a good number 3 if we add another receiver at some point. Alex says, what if Burks has a better game than AJ? That would be very interesting. That would be extremely interesting. Time Voss said, Burks and Henry should be on the field all the time, even if we aren't using them other than to block because it makes us less predictable. Only problem is Derrick Henry is not a good blocker in pass protection. Something, that is definitely something there. So that's something that we have to, that's something we definitely got to work out. So, yes, I didn't like that Derrick Henry was ineffective. Also, the kicking game, both kicking and punting, was a little suspect. Now, Caleb Shudak, I know he missed a 35-yard field goal at halftime, right before the half, and he looks so tiny out there. And I'm not going to crucify him because it was his first game, although a 35-yarder, you should make that daggone kick. You should make that kick. There's no excuse that you do not make those type of kicks. And then, like I said, the game flow, it just felt uncomfortable the entire time. It just felt very uncomfortable the whole time. And, it really was like that. Brandon comes and said, we miss Ben Jones. I think for the offensive line's sake, yeah. Aaron Brewer, is just not big enough. If you replace Aaron Brewer with Ben Jones, I think the offensive line is a little bit better. Dio9 says, we miss Autry, and where's Bud Dupree? Bud Dupree, again, we didn't get much pressure at all. We didn't get a lot of pressure. And, like Brandon said, we got out of our rush lanes. And when you get out of your rush lanes, that opens up Burrow getting free, and that opens up some other things freeing up. So that, that's not great. So, that's something that we have to keep working at. Dio9 says, got to keep building with Burks, but they take him out to put Swain in. And I do not understand that. I really don't. Which leads to the god-awful. And I got a lot on that. First off, for the god-awful is this. The real Todd Downing showed back up. You know how the real Todd Downing stood up and came back? You know how Eminem had that song? Yes, I'm Slim Shady. Yes, I'm the real Shady. I'm the one of them Shady. It's just the Shady. So won't the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. That's what happened in this game. The real Todd Downing stood up. And we knew him calling a couple of decent, solid games was not going to last. We knew something bad was going to happen, and it did. And Titan Fox, I will explain myself in just a second on that particular. I will explain myself in just a bit. So sit back. But the fact of the matter is, Todd Downing went back to being his predictable bad personnel grouping, bad play calling self once again. I don't know if the whole thing that happened with him after the Green Bay game, I don't know if the whole thing with the death threats was on his mind. I mean, I don't know. But I think that did have something to get with that. And Derek, I apologize. I did not post the show until now. And I'm actually still in the middle of doing that right now. So, please forgive me for that. I'm definitely working on that. I'm trying to share this show out right now to everybody. So, everything looked predictable. Predictable play calling and personnel groupings. And again, like Ty Fox said, when Swaim is out there, we all know what's coming. Either a run or some bad, terrible screen. Yes, that is absolutely true. What do we do on third down? We got to, and again, Derek, thank you for the super chat. One thing that you got to do is you use him in a passing game, or you put him and Hilliard together, or if you really want to use him on third down, him and Haskins, because Haskins is a better pass blocker. So you could definitely do that. Kid comes and says, I don't understand the package with Jeff Swaim and Cody Hollister. Everyone knows it's going to be a run. Why not do play action pass and try to hit one of those two guys with a pass play? Number one, I don't want to hit Jeff Swaim or Cody Hollister with any pass play. And you're right. Whenever you see Cody Hollister, if you see Cody Hollister as the only wide receiver in the game, about 99% of the time, you know it's a run. You know it's a run. And that is, it's so predictable. It's so predictable, it's ridiculous. Let's see. Mark Scott with a super chat said, thank TNT. Love your show and all the folks and fans here. So happy I found your channel. Best of luck to the Titans. Titans are one great receiver away from the promised land. And I appreciate that from a fellow Bengal fan. Make sure you pass that on to all of your other Bengal fans and any other football fans as well to come on over to the channel. So I definitely do appreciate that, Mark. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much for the support. It's so unpredictable. It's so predictable because the thing that, what happened is that there was a particular play where they lined up in the shotgun. Derrick Henry, I believe it's the Tannehill's left. Split out left are all three tight ends. Jeff Swaim, Austin Hooper, Chigakonkwo, all split out, and they run inside to Derrick Henry. Now, I will never be against giving the ball to Derrick Henry. However, what kind of formation was that? Again, personnel groupings. I don't know what Todd Downing is thinking when it comes to that. If you're going to do that, that is the play you give a screen to like a Chigakonkwo. You have Hooper and Swaim out there blocking. You maybe get some linemen out there blocking. Maybe you have something. You go, play action to Henry, quick screen to Chig, and let Chig run amok. You probably could have did something. And exactly. Hollister or Swain shouldn't be getting the ball thrown their way, period. At all. So I'm trying to make sure. I think I'm all caught up on most of the comments. So, I mean, the thing about it is, and I know a lot of people saying the Bengals got the Chiefs coming up, so we'll see about that. Alice says, what if Autry is making Simmons look good? I mean, I think Simmons does well on his own, but obviously him and Autry work way better together. They work so much better together. They really do. And, you know, again, the personnel groupings are just bad. They don't keep Burks on the field enough. And when you have, again, Burks, 38 snaps. Hooper gets 38 snaps. Chickaconquo only had 19 snaps. But Jeff Swain has 31 snaps. Kevin Rader, the other tight end, has 5 snaps. Rader shouldn't be on the field much either. Hooper, again, like I said before, Hooper should be up closer to 50 snaps a game. So, for example, we had 57 snaps in this game. Hooper and Burks should both be over 40-some snaps apiece. Hooper and Burks should each have been over 40 to 45 snaps. Robert Woods could have been down. Robert Woods is about fine where he is. Chickaconquo, his snaps should have been up. It should have been switched. The snaps that Jeff Swain got should have been Chig. And then Jeff Swain should have even had 19 snaps. He should have had like 12. So I don't see, why. I don't see why Chig doesn't get on the field more, why Hooper don't stay on the field longer, Burke stay on the field longer, Swain and Hollister on the field less. Don't understand that. And D09 mentions another one. That is another interesting one too. It was 2nd and 10, and they throw it's like it was 2nd and 10. Hilliard and Henry were both on the field together. Henry goes off to that side, and then they tried to throw a screen to Hilliard. I'm thinking Henry might be getting the ball. It's a screen to Hilliard with Henry out there too. I'm like, I didn't understand what the hell that play was. I had no understanding of that whatsoever. I had no understanding of what that was. That confused the hell out of me. I don't have any idea what that was. That was a he must have been drunk kind of play. That must have been a let me take a shot and you know what? Let's not have both at the same time. And let's just have a boat come out to the right. Sweet pass. That should work. And it didn't. I'm sorry. I might have been making fun with somebody that has a drinking problem. Forgive me. I'm not trying to do that right. But that was just stupid. And we did not do a good job of sustaining drives. That was one of my key points of victory. One was we didn't get no pressure on Burrow. We should have. That would have helped the secondary. Second was not give up explosive plays. We did give up a few. Third was sustain drives, get points. We did not do well in the red zone. We were very bad in the red zone. 0 for 3. Hit 2 field goals, missed the other. Offensive line was bad in this game. Dennis Taylor was getting whooped by Trey Hendrickson all game. And Aaron Brewer, I just don't think he's the future. I just don't know. I don't know. So I didn't like the way the offensive line played as a whole. Coaching is like you won't go to your horses. And that's the difference between us and a lot of other teams. Brandon said, we're going to drink. We're going to drink, win, lose, or tie. And I understand that. But sometimes drinking during the game ain't the best thing to do. Unless it's a touchdown, that is. But you notice what other teams, for example, the team you just played, Cincinnati, who did they go to when the chips were down? They went to T. Higgins. T. Higgins had 7 for 114 in the score. They kept going to Higgins a lot. If Jamar Chase was in there, it would have been him. Philly coming up this week. Who do you think they're going to try to get the ball to more? Most likely a familiar face that wears number 11. And I say this before. Kirk Cousins, where's he going most of the time with the ball? Justin Jefferson. Where's Josh Allen going with the ball most of the time? Stephon Diggs. Where's Tua going with the ball? Either to the cheetah or the penguin. Where's Mahomes going with the ball? Most likely Travis Kelce. And they have no problem making sure those guys get the ball. They make plays to make sure those guys get the ball. Why can't we do that with Burks, Okonkwo, and Hooper? It's like Vrabel and Todd Downing are so focused on, well, we got to get it to the open man. Even if those guys are double and triple covered, if they're open or they can't be stopped, you get those guys the ball no matter what. Don't care what you got to do, you get those guys the ball. You notice the Rams had issues scoring. Why? When the Rams played the Chiefs, they couldn't do much of nothing. Why? Because Cooper Kupp wasn't in there. Cooper Kupp wasn't in there. They had nobody to throw the ball to. Excuse me. I mean, it's not that difficult to understand where you should go with the football. That you go with your best horses. You go with what got you there. You go, when the game's on the line, you go to your best players. And I understand Derrick Henry is one of them. But when they're taking Derrick Henry away, you got to go elsewhere. And I don't think the Titans know how to do that. In Dallas, Dak Prescott is going to who? C.D. Lamb. Showed that. A.J. Brown, 53 catches, 831 yards. He about to have 1,000 yards. And so is T. Higgins. You know, Chris Olave is emerging in New Orleans. The Browns have Amari Cooper. They know to go to him, but we sure don't know how to go to Traylon Burks. We sure don't know how to get it to Austin Hooper. We sure don't know how to get the ball to Chicago, but we sure as hell be trying to get the ball to Jeff Swain and Cody Hollister, which is coaching malpractice. And this Jeff Swain, Cody Hollister love fest has got to stop. I don't know what it's going to take for Mike Vrabel and Todd Downing to just, to quit sucking the jock of Jeff Swain and Cody Hollister. I don't know if they got something on them or not, but it is effing ridiculous. So those are the things I thought that were awful. Excuse me. Steve says, we need to face it. Todd Downing is not going anywhere unless Vrabel is gone. And the unfortunate thing is that might not be entirely incorrect. Because you know what Vrabel's excuse is going to be. But we're winning. We won the division. We're winning the division. Todd Downing does a good job. Knowing good and well that's a lie. And Brandon says Devontae Smith. Yep, they got him too. Sure do. And Dallas Goedert. Mahomes to Kelsey. D09 says, I don't think they trust Tannehill. Well, Tannehill needs to not be a yes man like Marcus Mariota. And if you see a better play, call it. Be like Willie Beeman. Be like, look. Be like, forget this play, that play. I got a better play. If he got a better play, use it. Do it. If you got a better play that gets Traylon Burks the ball, get Traylon Burks the damn ball. Double or triple cover. Here comes Fire Tannehill because we start throwing interceptions. And I'm not saying you got to do it stupidly. I'm just saying get your best horses the ball. That's all I'm saying. Get those guys the ball. Don't be a yes man. And I agree. Tannehill is such a yes man. I was saying that last year. Derek says, Marcus Mariota caught a stray bullet. And yeah, I turned on Marcus. I think Marcus is a good dude. But at the same time, he was a yes man. He was basically like, whatever play they call is like, yes, sir, I'll run it. No changing of the play. No looking at, oh, dad, we're calling a running play. There's 9 guys in the box. Maybe I should check out of this play. Tannehill is starting to do that too, which is kind of irritating. Exactly. Where are the audibles? And I mean, that's a good question. How about saying, when you get that pitch in his voice, I get worried. No, I'm not going to trip today. I think I did enough of that before. So, there's a lot bad that happened in this game, and there was a lot awful on that. But who is your two-tone blue star of the game? And it ain't too many to go through. So, I want y'all to let me know who y'all think is your two-tone blue star of the game. Again, it ain't too many to choose from. And I'm actually going to make this rather quick. I'm going to say the two-tone blue star of the game, and Steve hit the nail on the head, Traylon Burks. Brandon says the same thing. I'm just going to make it quick because it ain't too many options. And while I explain why Traylon Burks is the two-tone blue star of the day, y'all know as usual, if there's a star of the game, there's a dunce of the day as well. Get your thoughts on who the dunce of the day is, because there are plenty of nominees for that. But the reason Burks gets that nomination, last 2 games, 11 receptions, 181 yards in the last 2 games. I think Traylon Burks is coming, y'all. Traylon Burks is coming. Slowly but surely, Traylon Burks is coming. And I think that bodes very well for the Titans going forward in the future. And I think he's slowly started to emerge. Now, he hasn't gotten there yet, but I mean, he has 11 receptions in his last 2 games after a point where he only had 12 or 13 receptions before. He now has 24 catches. He's third of the team in yards. Excuse me. Now, what I do like is Robert Woods and Traylon Burks and Austin Hooper have the most targets. That's good. It needs to be those 3. And Chig needs to get more targets too. And Traylon Burks, 2nd in targets, 2nd in receptions, 3rd in yards. He just needs to get in the damn end zone. That's the only thing that's missing. He needs to get in the end zone. And that touchdown, the one where he fell on the ball, I don't know what to call it. And D09 is right. Burks is only coming if we get him the damn ball. Damn, I love that comment, D09. Man, I love that. And because you are 100% right. Get the man the damn ball. RK also says Burks. I think I know where Brandon is going. Typhon says Avery was a star in my opinion. He showed up out of nowhere and is near as good as Fulton. I mean, Trey Avery has some nice snaps, but I still got to see it. So I agree. Traylon Burks, star of the game. Now, get to the dunks of the day. And I think we have a lot of those to go around. Stephen go with Kevin Strong. D09 says Todd Downing. Brandon says schedule maker. Ty Fox says Strong and Tart. Excuse me. They know better not to attack the long snapper. Kit says Downing. RK says, once again, Downing is the dunce. He lives on that list. He has Derek Roberts. I only like wide receivers that block. Vrabel. That's not a bad nomination either. Rocky It says he needs at least 7 targets a game, talking about Burks. And I agree. Burks should be getting at least 7 to 10 targets a game, without a doubt. And then Robert Woods maybe gets another 6 or 7. But a lot of people are going with Kevin Strong, and it would be just poetic justice to give it to Todd Drowning, because he's always a dunce. He will forever be the dunce. He's probably going to end up being the dunce of the year. But I will agree with Marcellus and some of the others. Kevin Strong is the dunce of the day. Kevin Strong is the dunce of the day. And this is why. You cost your team the game. Don't do dumb shit to hurt the football team. And you know good and well, probably up the middle, you're not going to block that kick. So you should have just stood there over the long snapper, let the kick be good, because you cost your team getting the ball back with about a minute 40, minute 50 to go, with a chance to go down and score a touchdown and tie. So you literally cost your offense a chance to go down and tie the game. And and also an honorable mention, Caleb Shudak shouldn't have missed that kick from 35, because theoretically, if he hits his kick and it's 23, and then they hit that field goal, it's 23-19, you get a chance to drive and go win the game. Now, it's unlikely they probably would have scored a touchdown, but they would have had a shot. They would have had a chance. They would have had a chance to go and win the game. So, dunce of the day, Kevin Strong. That was stupid. RK said the Eagles are going to show you how to feed a top receiver. Maybe Downing will take notes. Not likely. Not likely. Because, again, we just saw that with T. Higgins. They fed a good receiver. Todd Downing does not know how to make adjustments, and they didn't do that very well again either. So, Steven says, what do you think about the Mike Vrabel to Ohio State rumor? I don't believe that. I mean, I haven't heard any rumors. You know, I think honestly, why would a coach who coaches in the NFL go backwards to college? I don't see that happening. I mean, now if he was a defensive coordinator, I could see it. But you don't go backwards at a job. You don't go backwards. So that's something that you don't do. Downing taking notes. Yeah, that's probably not good. If he had took notes, he would have learned to call an Uber or a Lyft that would have been free and got him home after the Green Bay game. If Ryan Day gets fired, is he the next Titans OC? Well, it wouldn't shock me. But see, here's the thing, Alex, with Jim Harbaugh. I think with Jim Harbaugh, the writing was on the wall in San Francisco. Like, I think San Francisco, there was some controversy there, and there was some things going down in San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken. And Jim Harbaugh got out before it got bad for San Francisco. Now, San Francisco has righted the ship since then, but that yeah, I mean, yes, he did. And probably because Michigan did offer him the world. Pig Wickle, what's up with you? Down and took a headshot from Chris. Take an Uber. It's free. It's free. If it's free, you do it. Plain and simple. So, Titan Fox asked me, he said, did you just call Stonehouse suspect? Explain yourself. Titan Fox, this is for you. And here is me explaining myself. So in my Kevin Hart voice, I call Stonehouse suspect, and let me explain why. I only call him suspect for this game only. Okay? This game only. Now, he still averaged about 51 yards a punt in the game. Excuse me. And on the year, I believe he is leading all AFC punters. So he's going to probably make the Pro Bowl as a rookie. The guy's punted the ball 59 times, averaging 53 yards a punt. Net of, I believe, 47 yards a game. A net of 47 yards. That is less than 6 yards a return, if any. So, it's just when you and when you do that, it is really something like Ryan Stonehouse leads the league in average punt at 53 yards a punt. The next one is about 2 yards behind. And in net average, he is third in the NFL. He is third in the NFL in net punt average. Tied for third, rather. And he's punted the ball 59 times. That's impressive. So I only call him suspect for this game because there were a couple of punts that wasn't all that. But for the most part, Stonehouse has been money. That much is a fact. How much do you think Vrabel makes being the Titans head coach? A lot more money than I make. I will probably venture around maybe 7 million. I'm gonna see if I can figure that out. That's a good question. That's an excellent question. Right now, let's see. I'm looking it up. It says, and this is as of July 14th, that Mike Vrabel's averaging around $9 million a year as a head coach. But that was as of July of this year. So, they really don't let a lot of salary for coaches out like that. So let's see. Now they're saying, let's see. Vrabel's not even in the top 10 of coaches making a lot of money. Like Sean McVay is making about 15 to 18 million. Belichick is around 12 million. Matt Rule, before he got fired, was making 8.5. He's making more money than Sean McDermott and Andy Reid. Now, they were saying that in 2021, Vrabel was making about $3 million. And I know he probably got a contract extension and a raise, so he probably went up a bit. But they really don't let out a lot of information on coaching salaries. So I would probably venture somewhere between 5 and maybe 8 million. Is that a Malik Willis jersey? No. This is my jersey. Number 70. That is when that's the number I played in high school. So this was before really right when Titans and Truth was getting started. I had this jersey made. I'm probably going to get another one with this number, maybe in Houston Oilers colors. And then I might get a Titans and Truth in Oilers colors as well. So I might do something like that. But Vrabel makes a lot more money than I do. So that's what I would think about that. So in picking my brain, I got a question for everybody. And also there was some other news that did come out. We're going to talk about that. Excuse me. First off, we had the news earlier that Robert Woods restructured his deal, and that saved about $2.6 million in cap space. And most likely that was to kind of get them through the season. It really doesn't change much because next year they could cut Robert Woods and save about $12 million. They will only occur maybe about a $2 million dead cap hit, but they would save $12 million, which I think 9 times out of 10, I think 8 times out of 10, they're probably going to cut Robert Woods at the end of the year. If they don't find something better maybe in the draft, I could see where they hold on to him, but I think there's a chance they do cut him. So this didn't really mean a lot. I honestly thought, I was like, it really didn't make sense to me to do that because I believe if they had kept it the way it was, they could have saved all $14 million next year if they cut them with no dead cap. But I think they needed a little bit of wiggle room now to kind of get them through the rest of the year. So that was why I saw that happening. So that's what I would think about that. Dion said Robert Woods don't look happy here anyway. They're not getting him the ball much. Now there were a couple times they did try to give him the ball, he would drop passes, and that's not good. But like he's a volume catcher. Now he has the most targets on the team at 56. And I mean, compared to a lot of the other players in the NFL, that's pretty freaking low. Compared to a lot of other players in the league who get way more targets. Like, I mean, some of the leaders already have way more than double the targets he has. Like some of the top leaders have over 100 targets already, or close to 100. And Robert Woods only has 56. Like A.J. Brown has 86 targets. That's 30 more than Robert Woods. And that's almost 50 more than Treylon Burks. So, I mean, I think he might be out of position because he's a volume catcher. He's a volume guy. You get him the ball more, and things like that. So I don't know why they don't do that. Again, that's Todd Downing. Honestly, I thought they'd do that mid-season to improve the O-line. But for some reason, they just, we said this about the Jeff Swaim love fest. They must obviously have a love fest with Dennis Daly or Dudley as well. He's a dud. Yet they keep rolling him out there, expecting a different result. And I don't understand that either. Because, people are thinking that there could be a move. Well, I don't expect that there's going to be a move. I think they're just trying to have a little wiggle room to get through the year, or if they sign a practice squad guy or something like that. Reggie Robinson just went back to the practice squad. Alex says, what receivers do you like coming out of the draft? Honestly, it is way too early for draft talk. I haven't even begun to look at receivers in the draft. Haven't even started that yet. Although I am a Jordan Addison fan in USC. I do like him. He's one of the guys I have noticed. But I have not really paid a lot of attention. Jalen Hyatt, I do like in Tennessee, although I haven't really heard his name much. So he restructured his deal. Ola Adeni, designated to return. They opened up his window. He did practice today. So that opens up the 23 to 21 day window where he does not count for a roster spot and he can practice. Kyle Phillips, we have not seen that designation just yet, so we don't know. I mean, it's probably most likely Kyle Phillips is still maybe another week or two away. And, a lot of people have said it, and I'm starting to agree. There must something be drastically wrong with Racey McMahon. I don't think we're going to see him at all these Titans jersey again. And I'm looking at the report of the uniform for Sunday, which might bode well for us. They are going Hold on. Matter of fact, instead of me telling you, I think I'm going to show you what it's going to be. The Titans are going stormtrooper style. They are going all white. They are going all white everything. So they are going stormtrooper in all white. And usually when they play it all white, they usually do pretty good. So Oladeni coming back, I think is pretty good. It can help. We do need some help in the pass rush. The boy from TCU is legit. I have heard of him. Again, I'm going to have to go back and watch some tape. Dio9 says a franchise quarterback, trade up. First of all, I don't think they're getting rid of Tannehill. Not next year, unfortunately. Excuse me. And two, offensive line and wide receiver is much more pressing than a quarterback. You could get C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young, but they'll look best up with an offensive line as bad as ours is. We need a left tackle. If Lawan is gone, we need a left tackle more than anything. So, Time Fox said we have two good quarterbacks. Why aim for another? And, you know, I'm with DO9. And I think a lot of fans, there are some fans out there that feel like this. It's like, it feels like the Titans are just comfortable with winning the AFC South and just getting into the playoffs. I'm like, we're trying to win a Super Bowl. You know, we're trying to win a Super Bowl. Any way that you can get to win a Super Bowl, you go for it. So, I mean, we got to win a Super Bowl. And, I mean, I'm not necessarily backing saying that we don't need a quarterback. But, I mean, if we have an opportunity to get one, I wouldn't necessarily be against it. But I think offensive line has to go first. Now, I am not saying we don't need an upgrade because Malik Willis is just not ready yet. Now, I think if Malik Willis had came through, won that game in overtime against Kansas City, and maybe he kept starting, then we might have had a different conversation. So, man, Marcel said DO9 is over. I mean, look, DO9 do be preaching some truth, though. And I have to give him that. I'm not going to let everybody completely knock DO9, you know. And we do need a franchise guy. I mean, because Tannehill ain't going to be around much longer. And I don't know if Malik Willis will ever become that. We will have to see. But at the same time, you got to have an offensive line. You can't, you know, even though it would be great to get Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, but you don't want to be stuck with like a Will Levis. You got to have an offensive line. You got to have an offensive line to protect. And that blind side is the most important. So that's what I would say to that. But the question I have for everybody is, right now the Tennessee Titans will most likely make the playoffs. They're on their way to their third straight division title. However, if the playoffs started today, the Tennessee Titans would be the 3 seed. And take a good guess at who will be coming into Nissan Stadium for Wild Card Weekend. That's right. that exact same team you just played, the Cincinnati Bengals. And I don't know about you, I wouldn't like our chances in that game. That would be a one and done situation. Because right now, it just seems like the Bengals have our number. They have our number right now. And we have beaten ourselves quite a few times against this team. Now, other teams that possibly could be in the mix, the New York Jets, could be the Buffalo Bills, could be the Baltimore Ravens, could be the Miami Dolphins. And we would have to deal with those teams. And of course, Kansas City and Miami are ahead of us right now. Again, we're probably not going to catch Kansas City. Maybe we could catch Miami. But catching Kansas City, I don't think will happen. So my question is this. I know the Tennessee Titans are going to win the division. But the question is, are they really playoff worthy? Are they really worthy to be in the playoffs to go up against Kansas City, Miami, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Baltimore? Because if you want to win a Super Bowl, you're most likely going to have to beat 3 of those teams to get to the Super Bowl. And another team that I forgot about that could sneak up in there is the LA Chargers. The Chargers could sneak up in there too. They're not far behind. They're one game out of that playoff spot. I wouldn't underestimate the Jets either. But are the Titans playoff worthy? And I'm not just talking about, again, I know they're going to be in the playoff because they win the AFC South. But I'm saying, would they really be ready to make a run in the playoffs? I want to see what y'all think. Keon Maxwell, what's up with you, says, I would rather play a team we know. Brandon says, I don't want to see Miami unless it's raining in Nashville. We could beat other teams if we adjust the offense. Now, if Miami comes here, I think we have a better chance because it's going to be cold weather. If Miami comes here, if we got to go to Miami, might have a problem. Dion said, yes, we're going to have to beat 3 to go all the way. It's going to be tough. I don't see us doing it, but I hope I'm wrong. Type 5 said, we had a better offensive line at OC. I think we'd have a shot against any of them. You saw how close they were against the Chiefs. And I mean, again, like the Bengals game, the Bengals really didn't do anything special to win that game. We just didn't make enough plays ourselves. The Bengals didn't just throw it all over the yard and everybody had crazy numbers except T. Higgins. But again, Todd Downing could cost us the game. Kid said they're one and done unless they start beating teams with winning records. And that is another thing. The Tennessee Titans are 7-4, but yet have not beaten a single winning team yet. Every team that they've beat have losing records. Colts, losing record. Raiders, losing record. Denver, losing record. I mean, the only team we've beaten with a winning record is Washington. The Commanders. They are the only team that we have beaten that has a winning record. And they have this new stat called strength of victory. Not strength of schedule, but strength of victory. basically based on the teams you've beaten. Some of the top teams, their strength of victory is well over 40%. Every team that right now would make the playoffs is well over 40%. The Tennessee Titans have the worst. They are at 35%. The next closest team is the Miami Dolphins at 42%. The New England Patriots are on the outside looking in, and they're at 46% strength of victory. The Tennessee Titans have beaten nobody. They have beaten no one. Now, if they beat the Eagles on Sunday, that could change a little bit. But right now, we ain't beat nobody worth it. So, what do y'all think? A lot of people saying one and done. RK says maybe first round we win. After that, don't know. Let's see. Titan Fox, you know good and well, Kent Woods is our resident Titans hater. Dion says, all or nothing, we've got to prove we belong. I agree. Brandon said, we don't need a bye. We got to keep playing. Keon Mitchell says, Commanders, but who cares? Agreed. It's get up or shut up. It's put up or shut up this week. Not beating a team with a winning record is an important stat. Yes, it is. So, here's my thinking. I think there's a chance the Titans are one and done. Something just tells me that. It just depends on the matchup. If it's Cincinnati or if it's Baltimore or, for God forbid, it's Buffalo, I think we're done. I don't think there's a way we beat those teams in the first round, even if we are at home. Now, if it's against Miami at home, I think we may have a shot. Because it is very difficult to pass the football in cold weather temperatures. Although some teams can pull it off. But I think, well, let me change that. I mean, depending on the matchup, I could see us winning the game. I don't think we would. But I would say the ceiling is the divisional round. I think we get to the divisional round and we're out. And that's not good enough. Because as Titan fans, you deserve more. You deserve more. And I don't like the fact that Tennessee Titans coaching staff and John Robinson, they're acting like, well, if we win the division, that means we had a successful season. It's basically them saying, well, we're just fine with just winning the division and just getting in the playoffs. They're acting like they don't want to win a Super Bowl. And Alex says, Downing is half the reason we lost to the playoffs. I would say it was about 75% Tannehill, 25% Downing that we lost that game. So, and I'm like D09, I don't like that mindset either. And that's just what I'm getting. And Kentwood is right. Titans are very predictable. They are very predictable. Anytime you see some of their personnel groupings, you know what's going to happen before they do. Anytime you see Hollister or Swaim on the field, 9 times out of 10, it's a run. If you see Hilliard on the field, most likely it's a pass. Too predictable with the personnel grouping. So, I mean, I would say this. I don't think the Titans are playoff worthy. By the way they play. again, they're going to get in because they're going to win the division. And I believe I saw, and I'm not 100% certain of this, if we beat the Eagles and the Colts lose, we got a chance to wrap up the division the following week at home against the Jaguars. We will have a chance to win the division. So, dear Rob says, I happen to love our 1920s offense, and I know he's being sarcastic. And they can't adjust on the fly like real playoff teams. Not saying they aren't. And I agree with that. Again, those other teams, they know how to adjust and they know how to go to their horses when it matters. Kansas City, Mahomes knows, hey, I need a big play, I'm going to Travis Kelce. Miami, I need a big play, I'm going to Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle. Baltimore, I need a big play, but Lamar's either going to run it, maybe get to Mark Andrews. They're the only other team that maybe doesn't have a real legit target as a wide receiver. Buffalo, big game, they're going to Diggs. Cincinnati, Jamar Chase. The Jets even know to get the ball to Garrett Wilson, who is having a monster season. So some of those teams know how to go to their horses. The Titans don't. They have no idea how to do that. So that's why I just don't think they are playoff worthy. They may get lucky and win in the wild card, and then the divisional round, I just don't see it happening. And I know a lot of times it has to do with luck. A lot of times luck has to be on your side too. So that's just my thought on that. But let's go ahead and get to the Eagles and talk about them. I know I've talked your heads off for over 1 minute, 22 seconds, and I appreciate everybody sticking with me. And again, all of y'all who are watching, make sure y'all share this show out. Make sure y'all share this out to everybody. And also hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well. So that way you're in the know of what's going on. And, Titans of Truth comes every Wednesday. And your number one podcast for all things Titans as well as NFL. So y'all make sure y'all come on in with me. But the Philadelphia Eagles, hot team, 10-1. They have a chance to clinch a playoff spot with a victory. We can't let that happen. The Eagles, Jalen Hurts is having a pretty darn good season. A pretty darn good season. He's got 17 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. And he's also ran for nearly 600 yards as well. So he's a dangerous weapon both in the passing game and the run game, which we had trouble with Joe Burrow in this game. Then you got Miles Sanders, who is a darn good running back in his own right, near 1,000 yards. And they have this stat called BIG, which means big plays, 20 or more yards. And Miles Sanders has 7 rushes of more than 20 yards and 8 touchdowns. Very good back. Kenneth Gainwell also gets some as well, formerly of Memphis. Why? I am a fan of Gainwell. Of course, at receiver, our familiar foe, Arthur Juan Brown. Dag, I missed that dude. Again, I'm going to say it. One of the dumbest trades J-Rob has ever made. One of the dumbest moves J-Rob ever made was trading A.J. Brown. And right now, that might right now that's looking to come back to bite us. And AJ Brown, he's already closing in on 1,000 yards for the year. He's at 831. And you know he's going to be looking to try to show out against us. Devontae Smith is still good. Dallas Goedert, a heck of a tight end. They have a very physical offensive line. And that defense is very good. Their defense swarms. Hassan Reddick leads their team in sacks with 8. Javon Hargraves has 7 from a defensive tackle position. They know how to get to the quarterback. They're one of the league leaders in sacks. Yo. Okay. Just trying to make sure. Had a little issue. All right, sorry about that, y'all. Just trying to had to fix a little small problem there. But yes, I mean they have a physical O-line and they have a physical defensive line. And they have a very good secondary with Darius Slay. And I mean, also I forgot, defensive line, they still got Fletcher Cox. They just brought in, they traded for Robert Quinn, and they just brought in Ndamukong Suh as well. So we got our work cut out for us. And we know C.J. Gardner-Johnson is the league leader in interceptions, but he might not be playing in this game. But they still got a very, very good secondary. There's not a lot of weaknesses to this team. There is not a lot of weaknesses. So we got our work really cut out for us. And we got some work to do if we're going to win this football game. And just like I said, you know, the Eagles are very sound. They're number 2 total defense. They're 3rd in the league in sacks. And plus 13 in turnover differential. They are one of the very few teams in the league that are top 5 in both offense. They're the only team in the league that is top 5 in both offense and defense. They are top 5 in both. This is going to be a very tough game to win. And I really hate I didn't go back and watch the Washington game to see what they did that beat the Tennessee Titans. I will try to have more for that for you Sunday when we do our live stream. Forgive me for that, y'all. I got to turn my phone off. But I agree. Whatever Washington does, we need to implement that. And Keon says, Vrabel said the blueprint is what the Commanders did. So, yeah, I agree. A lot of what the Commanders did is something that we should implement because it did give them trouble. Because right now the Eagles, defensively, number 2 in total defense. They're number 2 in total defense. They're number 2 against the pass. But against the run, they're a bit suspect. They're 18th against the run. That is where they're a bit suspect. So we know they're going to definitely try to key on stopping Derrick Henry. But I think it's the pass defense that does help them. And they like to play ahead. They like to play ahead because they know teams are going to have to throw the ball. And they're 9th in scoring defense, right behind us. Of course, the Titans are still 3rd against the run. Against the pass, we've had our issue. We back to 31st. It's like we just can't seem to get out of the 30s in pass defense. But then on the other side, they're very good offensively. 4th in offense. You know, they pass the ball. They're middle of the field, middle of the road in passing the ball. But where they do well, they're 3rd in running the ball. So it's really going to be strength on strength. Titans run defense against Eagles run offense. If you can stop the Eagles run offense and really force Jalen Hurts to have to make plays, you might have a chance. So disrupt the pocket, line of scrimmage. I agree. Which leads me to the Blue Enforcer, 4 points to victory. And I appreciate everybody being in with me and sticking with me, but we're definitely going to go into that. The Blue Enforcer, 4 points to victory. Starting on the offensive side of the ball. This team is very opportunistic. One thing about this defense, they are very good. They are very physical. They get after the quarterback, and they also know how to cause turnovers. Now, that is one thing the Tennessee Titans are very good at, and something that they have not done. Right now, the Eagles are plus 13 in turnover differential. The Titans are plus 2. The Titans are plus 2. Now, Ryan Tannehill has only thrown 3 interceptions, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Well, Ryan Tannehill's only thrown 4 interceptions this season. And that's good. But we have also had some other issues. We had a couple of fumbles and things like that, something we have to be careful of. We've had 5 fumbles. We've had 6 fumbles that we've given up. We've given the ball up 11 times, and we've taken the ball away 13 times with 9 picks. And the Eagles, I believe, lead the league in interceptions at 15. And they lead the league in total turnovers with 23. So they know how to create turnovers. So you got to take care of the football. No turnovers. Point number 2. We were out-tightened by the Bengals. The Bengals play more physical than we did. We have to be the more physical team. Philly can be a physical football team. We have to do the same. We have to be tough at the point of attack, and we have to take the fight to them. We can't let them bring the fight to us. We take the fight to them. we have a great chance of winning this game. We have to be more physical than they are. We have to go out there and punch them in the mouth. We have to go out there and punch them in the mouth. We got to hit, Cobra Kai. I keep saying it. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. And that is exactly what the Tennessee Titans have to do. They cannot show mercy. Mercy is for the weak. They have to take the fight to them. Go on the road, shock them, and take the crowd out of the game. So you got to play with this. You got to take care of the ball, be sound with the football, and you've got to take the fight to them. You cannot be afraid of them. But I'm with Brandon. Attack Bradbury. He could be the weaker of the two corners. Yeah, Darius Slay, pretty damn good. Now, C.J. Gardner-Johnson might be out for this game. We don't know yet. And according, I think I had an injury report as well. Y'all give me a second. I'm going to put that up. Here's the injury report. So Danico Autry, Elijah Molden, Jeff Simmons did not practice. Although I expect Simmons to practice or still play. Probably the same with Molden. They're probably taking it easy on him. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, kidney, did not practice. And kidney might be something serious. We better take a look at that. Devontae Smith, dealing with a groin, he was limited. So they could be without their best defensive back in this game. And that could definitely help too, especially over the middle. Defensively, we have got to get back to being who we are. And that's playing with discipline. You got to keep outside contained with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts likes to improvise. Jalen Hurts likes to use his legs to make plays. I think Malik Willis on scout team could definitely help us with that. I think that's something that could definitely benefit us as far as Jalen Hurts likes to use his legs. He likes to run. We got to keep him in the pocket with no way out. You keep him bottled in the pocket, that's where we can do our most damage. Play with discipline, no dumb penalties. Kevin Strong. Play with discipline, gain tackle, because Miles Sanders is very good, very tough to stop. You got to wrap him up at the point of attack, which I think the Titans are still very good at. Hurts could be a problem in the run game. He had over 140 yards rushing against Green Bay. But you got to gain tackle. 11 hats to the football at all times. And last but not least, A.J. Brown is looking to show out. A.J. Brown is going to want to make a statement to Mike Vrabel, but more importantly to John Robinson. He's basically going to be saying, y'all should have paid me. And I agree. They should have paid him. But you cannot let AJ show out at your expense. Christian Fulton and Roger McCreary. Now, one thing about AJ Brown, you can't let him get in open space. We know that. But you hit him at the point of attack, you get physical with him because he's a physical receiver. He's a dog. We know that. We miss that. He's a dog. So you got to outdog him. And I think Christian Fulton, of course, they know him pretty well. Byard knows him pretty well. So, this is going to be an interesting matchup, how they do with A.J. Brown. Now, again, if we focus so much on A.J. Brown, You don't want to leave Devontae Smith or Dallas Goedert as other options. And I'm with RK. We have to work our tight ends. We can't just go outside on those corners because those corners are good. Our best bet is over the middle. Tackling is a key. Absolutely. Alan Man said we seem tired in the Cincinnati game. We should have been. We had 10 days off. If anything, we should have been the more fresher team. So those are my 4 points to victory. You got to take care of the ball, no turnovers, because they're very opportunistic, and they know how to get after the quarterback. Be tough at the point of attack, take the fight to them. They know how to get to the quarterback. Dennis Dudley, they are going to come after him hard. Tannehill they're going to have to get the ball out quick. Excuse me. They're going to have to find a way to get the ball out quick and be efficient. Because you can't just leave Dennis Dudley one-on-one with somebody like Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick will abuse him. Play with discipline. Point number 3, play with discipline. You keep contained on Jalen Hurts. Don't allow him to escape. And you got to gang tackle him and Miles Sanders or anybody that gets the football. And last, don't let AJ show out at your expense. Don't let AJ show out at your expense. The moment of truth. Who wins? Tennessee Titans right now are a 5.5-point dog. And they're a 5.5-point dog right now. And, the Eagles just came off of a big victory on Sunday night against the Green Bay Packers, even though the Packers are not very good. And don't know if we've seen the last of Aaron Rodgers for a while. But right now, the Titans are a 5.5-point dog. I think, honestly, I would definitely take the Titans to cover that. I think the Titans definitely cover the spread because I just don't see them getting blown out. I don't. But right now, I'm trying to see. But I'm trying to see right now what the odds are. Let me pull that up. But I believe the Titans opened up. They were a road dog, and they opened up at, I believe, 5.5. So I would definitely go with the Titans plus 5.5. And right now, that's what it is. Titans plus 5.5, over under 44. Now, the Eagles can score a little. So that could be a problem too. So I'm going to venture to go. I think, honestly, I would take the Titans to cover that 5.5. if it was me, if I'm a betting man. I think we go into this game, we have absolutely nothing to lose. We're going to be the underdog. Everybody's going to pick against us anyway. And I'm not 100% on board with this pick, but something tells me this could be a Vrabel special. That we do something that nobody expects. Nobody's going to pick us to win this game. Everybody's going to pick against us. Something tells me the Titans are going to go to Philly and shock the world. I think they can go up there, they can play defense, they can run the football, and I think the Tennessee Titans win this game 20-17. And they get to 8-4 and drop the Eagles to 10-2. I'm not 100% confident in this pick. I can honestly say that. Now, I will definitely take them plus 5.5. I would do that in a heartbeat. Because I think the game will be close. The Bengals game, they lost by 4. But the only problem is Todd Downing could cost us this game. Dionot says, I'm not going to lie, I think we can beat them. AZ Mix says, Titans win. I don't know why they don't run a lot of screens with Traylon Burks or Robert Woods. That would be a good point. Billy Man says, can't stand Downing's high school playbook plays. I agree. Keon Maxwell goes 23-20 Titans. So let me get y'all predictions as well. We're finna get ready to get out of here in just a bit. But something just tells me I think the Titans have a chance to win this game. Even though a lot of people will probably not give them that chance. Even though a lot of people are probably not going to give them that chance. I think, but I think the Tennessee Titans have a chance to win this game. I definitely think they have a chance to win. Will they? That's going to be the ultimate question. That's going to be the question. Will they win this game? Because I looked on NFL Plus, all except one person picked the Eagles. AZ Mix says 27-17. Ian Fuentes comes in. Ian, welcome to the show. More screens with Henry, too. Almost every time, and a screen pass to Henry or a pass to the outside is 10-plus yards. Agreed. I agree with that. I can see that happening, but I do think the Titans have a chance to win this game. Paulie D says, what up, Truth? We're not losing 2 in a row. The boys won't let it. Tighten up. I hope so. But I am not 100% confident in this pick. I will be honest with you. But I think the Titans can get it done and win 20-17. Before we do wrap up tonight's show, again, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving holiday. I know we're in the holiday season and everything, and things like that. You know, I really couldn't find me a shut your pie hole really to go with. Well, you know what? I do have one. And it's to my guy, the one and only, Mr. Jarrett Stillman. And Jarrett knows I love him to death. But I am going to have to give him, I'm going to have to give Jarrett a shut your pie hole moment. Because on Monday's show, he went on and on and on about his man crush on Joe Burrow. And don't get me wrong, Joe Burrow is a heck of a quarterback. He is damn good. No lie there. No lies told. Jarrett is absolutely right in saying Joe Burrow is great. But for almost an entire hour of his show, he just went on and on about, oh, Joe Burrow is so great. I love Joe Burrow. He basically reminds me of Joe Montana. Oh, I love Joe Burrow. I know Jared might respond to that and be like, that is not how I sound. I'm just having some fun with Jared. But Jared went on and on a love fest with Joe Burrow. So I would say to my guy Jared, you got to shut your pie hole with that Joe Burrow love. Don't get me wrong, he's great. He's a great quarterback, but you didn't have to make it look like, oh my God, I'm so in love with him. I would marry him if I could. That's kind of what it sounded like. It sounded like a love letter to Joe Burrow saying, I love you so much and I couldn't be, what would I do without you in my life? That's what it sounded like. So, Jarrett, with your Joe Burrow love letter, I love you, but shut your pie hole, sir. And another, and I've seen some people pick on this guy already, and that is my guy Chris Frazier. Because I know that yeah, give me a second. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. But we know that Chris Frazier has this infatuation for A.J. Brown. And it's warranted. A.J. Brown is great. But we all know that every day Chris Frazier will go on and talk about basically how A.J. Brown was this and that. Burks is nothing. You know, A.J. Brown is like the greatest thing ever. Now, don't get me wrong. The one thing that me and Chris Frazier do agree on is that they should have paid him. He should still be a Titan. So in a lot of ways, I agree with him. But with the love fest of talking bad about Traylon Burks, my friend Chris Frazier, you my boy, but you got to shut your pie hole on that one. So, everybody, that's about it for this show. I want to thank everybody for tuning into the show today. Definitely glad to be over 1,200 subscribers. Trying to get to 13. Please do help me with that. Make sure y'all share the show out. Tell everybody about this show. And help me get to 1,300. And then we're going to try to get to 1,500. We're going to try to get to 2,000. We're going to try to get further. And let's do this thing together. And let's go out here and see if we can go beat these Eagles. Everybody, that's going to just about do it for this show. Thank y'all so much for tuning into the show. AJ better get humbled. That's what I hope for too. Titans D-line, they better get together and get healthy so that they can produce. So everybody, thank y'all for tuning into the show. I am your man, Blue Enforcer, aka The Truth. Thank y'all for supporting me. Thank y'all for hanging with me. And y'all know what to do. And that is tighten up, because that's all we know how to do. I holla.